This is the LowcoSports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
My mouse slipped. You got a little glimpse of us if you were paying attention before we opened. But Justin Jarrett joined finally by Wes Kerr. Wes was out last week. We definitely missed you, man, having your voice and perspective in here. Happy to have you back on the show tonight and back in the fold this week and going forward. But how you doing, man? You got up north, got away for a little bit, feeling rested and ready to go?
Yeah, I got a nice, couple days off, got to see some friends and, just hit back for a few days, but I'm ready to hit the ground running. We got a busy week. It's that time of the year where it's that transition between winter and spring sports, and it gets busy quickly. And I'm excited to get into this basketball playoff season, and then looking ahead into spring sports coming up very soon. So it's always a fun time of year, this crossover season, and excited back. A lot to talk about on the show tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a lot of catching up to do. I want to get your perspective on some things that happened over the past week and also just news breaking left and right. We'll be talking a little bit about the Skeezer wrestling here in a little bit with Greg Lawns from JP2. They had 8 placers, and he'll tell us a little more about Luke Sobey from Patrick Henry, just a freshman, won the Skeezer title first year that they had a program out there that kind of built it for him, and he brings home a title, so that's exciting. USCB softball had another great day on Saturday. A couple run rules, a no-hitter for Sierra Kinlaw, so we'll dig a little deeper into that. Hilton Head Prep has a new football coach. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. But we do have a friend waiting in the green room, so I think we'll go ahead and bring in Coach Greg Lawns and talk a little Skeezer wrestling. It's not Loco grind night. We took the night off last night for the Super Bowl.
You're still on a high.
It's weird to be a fan of a villain team. I've never been the fan. Like, my team's never won anything growing up. Chiefs, Cubs, Mizzou, we never won anything. So now the Chiefs are like the villain of the NFL, and I can't get used to it. But actually, I'm getting used to it. I kind of like it. I'm kind of wearing it now. But whatever. It's my team, man. Like, I put a lot of heart and soul in that team that when they weren't winning.
You got to embrace the Chiefs had down years. I mean, you look at the left. They have
a lot. But we suffered through a lot of quarterbacks to get to Pat Mahomes. But Greg Lawns, speaking of teams rallying this year and having a great year, JP2 Golden Warriors going all the way to the state finals in Skeeza in the duels, and then you took 11 guys up there to state on Saturday. 8 of them bringing home hardware, which is really rewarding. 3 runners up with Daniel Snyder, Brian Orta, and Jack Hannigan, and then 4th place finishes for Jace Reynolds, Jude Witkowski, Brandon Horton, Chris Orta, and Renzo Cedeno, and then some other local guys. Luke Sobey, we mentioned, winning it at 165 for Patrick Henry. Carter Sims, 3rd at 157 for Colleton Prep, and Giovanni Rodriguez from Thomas Hayward, 4th at 126. So love to see everybody getting a medal, all schools getting somebody in there. But talk a little bit about your guys and just how proud you are of their effort this season.
So, Justin, how you still standing? I know you had to stay up late night partying and hooping it up.
There may have been a nap involved this afternoon.
Yeah, that was a epic game, to say the least.
It was.
Yeah. Oh man, it was great. So we only rolled with 11. We had one guy that had some injury. Found out Thursday, Friday. We thought he'd be able to go, and just wasn't going to happen. And that was probably in his best interest as well, just because it could have got worse. So we rolled with 11. We would hope we would have had 14, but you go with what you got. And all in all, I was pretty happy with it. Of course, like any coach or competitor, you want to win all the matches, and especially like your seniors. I mean, we had a couple matches that actually 3 matches in my head. Brandon Horton, his semifinal match, he looked great out there, and he had the guy stuck. I think it must have been a basement or something, because the ref didn't see eye to eye with me on that. So, yeah, and that was against kid he had lost to the week before, and he had him stuck, and then he ended up finishing 4th. But a lot of heart from him. Same thing with Renzo. He, is 30 pounds underweight. Each week we're telling him, hey, you got to eat cookies, donuts drink a gallon of water, and he weighed in each week at about 171.1 to 178 at 250. So, he's going to be a guy who's not going to eat a lot after wrestling. He'll just so I don't know. You always hate to see your seniors. You always want to see them finish on top, and so proud of their efforts and their leadership. And
I mean, it takes those upperclassmen, those seniors, to set the tone. But I want to hear more about these kids and how they buy into the program this year to produce something special out there on the mat. You do a great job, but share some more spotlight on these kids and the work that they put in this year.
It's I mean, I love these guys. They bought into what we're trying to get them to do and put in a little extra time. And, it's just a camaraderie, I mean, we have fun together, and, after the tournaments, win or lose, we're, grab a bite to eat and bus ride home. I drove that bus home, and, those guys, even the guys that lost, it wasn't like it was, it wasn't the end of the world. They had a good perspective on it. And, we did have some tears, of course, which, tears means you care. And, I don't have a problem with that. And my underclassmen, a couple of the guys, they, had that, and they said, well, you know what you got to do, right? And, it's kind of good to hear them, after they lose, you kind of, just want to work harder. And, but yeah, just, they rallied around each other. There's several matches that were awesome to see. Chris Horta ended up getting an escape with like 3 seconds left to advance him to the finals, which was awesome. He's been like that all year. He's, I don't think he won more than 9 matches. I think he's like 9-17 last year. And this year he hit 20 wins. Nice. Jack Hannigan was number 2 seed. And I don't know if it was kind of like the limelight or sick or what. And his first match, he was 2 seed going up against the 7 seed, and guy put him on his back about 30 seconds in the match. I'm like, there it goes. And sure enough, he fought off his back. He ended up winning that by, I think, a major, but he was near pinned. And then in his semifinal match, he ended up being down with, I think it was about, he was down by 4 points with about 30 seconds left in the match. Guy came in with, got him in a position where he was pushing into him and hit a lat drop and stuck him, which, was just kind of symptomatic of how, I guess, just how our season had gone. Daniel Snyder, he was 4 seed. I mean, they just rallied around each other. He was 4 seed, and he had a knee injury and was sick and lost like 10 pounds in the past 2-3 weeks. And he was a 4 seed, which I would have put him higher. And he went up against in the semis against the number 1 seed. And he just cranked away at him with power halves and put it in the boots. And he majored him. And then Brian Orta, same thing with him. He's steadily improved. Between Jack and Brian, both sophomores, he guts it out, and he works with both Jack and Daniel in the room. And, we made fun of Brian because he had a bunch of black eyes. And I'm like, well, chicks dig black eyes. And I was like, and sure enough, he ended up, just going out there and being physical. Then he faced off with Martin in the finals, which wasn't pretty, but not too many guys have had pretty matches with him. So, it's all good. And, Jack was one of their guys. I think I said it before. He hit up Reverence about 3 weeks to a month ago, and I told that to Blake last night. I said, I know it's only 3 weeks, but you'll see what wonders has happened. And we should now. It's like 5-6 guys are saying I'm hitting it up there, and the 3 runner-ups. We're going down to Orlando this weekend for the National Preps qualifier. And I want them to get that big mat exposure so you don't have starry eyes, which is what it takes. You can't just. Yep. So it's fun. I've had as much fun as they have had, and I tell them it's just as much fun to coach as it is to wrestle. and it's a good group. I'll miss the seniors, but we're excited about what we have coming up. It's nice. It's a brotherhood in the sport of wrestling. I know, Justin, and your background. Yep. I was talking to both Cole McCarter, Carter Newman coach, and good guy, along with Austin, and we just want to continue to grow it. Like talking to Austin about maybe the possibility that there be girls wrestling in Skeeza, which would be awesome. Girls wrestling is going to continually evolve the sport. So yeah, that's it. I would have loved to have 3 champions and 5 runner-ups, but we ran in a couple buzzsaws, and we know what we have to do in the off season, which is where it's going to happen. So
sounds like it's getting tougher and tougher to get out of that Skeeza tournament with a medal. Like every year, the competition level cranks up a notch.
Yeah. So between Luke Martin, he was 44-2 this year, and he finished his only 2 losses, maybe 44-4. 2 of his losses were at the Newberry Open, College Open. And then, Prep Slam, I think he finished 3rd there. John Grove, I'm not sure what weight he was at. He's a stud. And then Raven, he's solid as well. And you talked about Luke Sobey. He was tough. I would have loved to have seen Brandon wrestle him in the finals if it would have turned out.
There's Luke. This is the 3rd period of Luke's match. I was pretty impressed.
Yeah.
He came from Missouri, so, comes by it honestly. Talked with his dad on the sideline at a football game about it. And I was like, really? We got a wrestler from Missouri, my kind of people right here. But this kid, speaking of which, this kid was pinned too.
Right.
That kid was pinned.
Yeah, there were a couple times like that, and it's the way it is, I guess. They haven't wrestled that many matches at Patrick Henry. When they came to us for the quarterfinal, I think they said they'd only wrestled maybe 1 match. So unless Luke and I think there's another Sobey on the team, only had like 5 guys. Unless they're doing open wrestling, it's pretty impressive. Unless they're just hitting hard.
I know at one time they were going to Reverence, but I don't know. If that's still during football season, they had talked about it because they were living in Bluffton. They're building a house in Estill, and they were living in Bluffton, and we're going there. But the Sobey kid looks good. Carter Sims from Colleton Prep, he's a tough kid. And then I was happy to see Giovanni got in there. Alfonso ran into a couple buzzsaws, but that's kind of what I was getting at. That it's just like. It used to be like there were some weights where if you showed up and won a match, you got a medal. It's not quite like that anymore. There's a little more depth. What were you saying, Wes?
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned going forward into next year. What's next? After you guys wrap up the season, as you get ready to prepare for what's to come with this program and just Skeeza wrestling in general. What do you want to see moving forward from your squad and maybe just overall these Skeeza wrestlers in general?
Well, like I said, we got the 3 guys. They're going to national preps, and it's at Lake Highland, which they're tough. They traveled up to St. Ed's, where Wyoming Seminary was supposed to be there, along with some other teams this winter. So you're not traveling from Florida to Ohio unless you're a solid team and you look at them historically. Yeah. So that'll be fun to take those 3 guys. I think just once guys see, okay, this is what it takes to get that level. I think that they're buying in that they have to put in time in the off season. We have an off season plan. That both myself, Bill, and then Rich, my assistant coach, who's just gung ho about it, which is awesome. We're gonna hit the ground running. Like I said, I got several guys that want to do more, and we got camps lining up, whether it's going to be App State camp or Newberry team camps. They just got to get mat time and knowing that it's more than just in season. And even if they're playing another sport, you can still hit up, get your lifts in, get your runs in. Reverences after most sporting events is done, and once we get more depth, I think it's gonna just grow. Junior high program has to get bigger. which we knew that's part of it. We only had 5 or 6 guys this year. When I was talking to Cole from Cardinal Newman, they had 28 guys. But he shared with me, he said, hey, that's 4 years out. So where they were, because their program was high and then went low and dipped. Our youth programs, between 20 and 25, and that's very green. But, it's the fun part of it. Skis, they had the most numbers they had this year. And, that's one tournament. I want to get next year more for the ones that are more experienced and higher level, bigger tournaments like we're looking at Prep Slam in Atlanta, head in there. That's a solid tournament. Some tournaments up in Columbia as well. We didn't have a whole lot of individual tournaments, which I think there's a difference between dual tournaments and individuals, because
just the mat time. I mean, you go in for an individual tournament and you get 4 or 5 matches, and whereas even if you go to a dual tournament and you wrestle 4 or 5 duels, you might only get 2 or 3 matches out of that.
Right.
And there's something too about the tournament format of each round somebody tougher. Like I think that is a good thing.
And aside from, I was reading something last night because, once you mine's it's like a one-way track is winning the championships, obviously the hardest thing, but probably equally hard is coming back and getting 3rd place. Because you had your sights set on winning the championship, and now you're about as low as you can get, and you got to dig yourself out. It's kind of like being, stuck on your back. How do you fight off your back to get recover? And so that's just something, the mindset that we're trying to establish, and it's coming along. I was happy. I mean, I'm not satisfied, because if I'm satisfied, I probably should quit. So that's all in all. I mean. I guess today I got to cook for my wife for the first time in about
there you go
12 weeks, so
now it's time for baseball, right?
That I got one doing baseball, another is actually kicking into gear for us, and now there's ACLs all clear, so
all right. Well, congratulations on a job well done this season, and we definitely look forward to talking with you more on the Lowco grind, and look forward to seeing what comes next for JP2 Wrestling. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for always supporting us, and appreciate all the coverage you give. So, yes, sir. Take care. All right, go Chiefs. Go Chiefs. Greg Lawns, John Paul II wrestling coach. Great job by the Golden Warriors, as well as the other Lowco guys who placed. Luke Sobey, state champ at 165 as a freshman. Good stuff there. Let's shout out some sponsors before we go on. The MVP sponsors of LowcoSports start with Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of LowcoSports, and my wife. She is with the Anchor Home Group of Keller Williams of the Lowcountry, and she'd love to help you find your place in the Lowco and put down an anchor in the best place. The market is thawing. It's a great time to buy. You can still negotiate on price, but those interest rates are coming down, and there's a lot of inventory out there. So get in touch with Megan Jarrett or me, and I'll get you over to her. The official realtor of LowcoSports. Homegrown Home Inspections is the official home inspector of LowcoSports. My guy Jan Lucas and his team are the best in the biz. They've got an incredible level of expertise, and their customer service is second to none. So if you need to make sure you're making a great purchase, or if you need a home inspector before you put your house on the market, or if you need a phase inspection on a new build, call on Homegrown Home Inspections, official home inspectors of LowcoSports. Mickelson Law Firm is the official real estate closing attorney of LowcoSports and our original sponsor since 2017. Just saw Mickelson at the ballpark this weekend. One of my favorite parts about spring, getting out to the ballpark. I know I'll always see a Mickelson over there. But Mickelson Law Firm can help you with all your legal needs. Call on Ryan and Tiffany and their team over at Mickelson Law Firm. Hospice Care of the Lowcountry is the official hospice care of LowcoSports and the only not-for-profit hospice care in Southern Beaufort County. And they just do so much for our community, and they raise so much money through great events like the Yacht Hop. The tickets just went on sale for this year's Yacht Hop. fewer tickets than ever. So you got to get in there and get your tickets to the Yacht Hop. Support hospice care of the Lowcountry, where it's not about dying, it's about living. Wes, welcome back, my brother. Let's talk about some more sports here. We got another friend coming by, another 1,000-point scorer tonight, Kamira Freeman. She's going to pop by here in a few minutes, and we'll talk to her about that milestone. We've had a bunch of 1,000-point scorers lately. It's really cool.
We had Courtney Campbell,
Kayvon Chisholm, Morgan Scott, Tamaya Hutchinson, Takoya hit 1,500. Like, they've just been all over the place. So. Yeah, very cool.
Seeing these 4 girls, who we've been covering since their freshman year, and now they're culminating their careers with these outstanding milestones. So pretty cool to see them come full circle and achieve what they've been accomplishing. So
it's a heck of a senior class.
Yeah,
that girls class is really, really good.
Yeah.
They've been fun. But, Kayvon, he got his 1,000th, and then he got named to the North-South All-Star game. I haven't seen full rosters, but I saw that announcement. So
that's that's an impressive accomplishment. I don't remember seeing too many from this area get to the
Pringle made it.
Yep.
Maybe McCracken made it, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about that. I think Jermaine Patterson did, but there haven't been a lot.
Yeah.
It's been pretty sparse. Although I think maybe one of the Dennisons made it as well. But it's not been a lot. Yeah. I mean, there's the one All-Star game in the whole state, and what do they take, like 15? So
you're among the elite if you selected to that.
Yeah, I think they're only taking about 30 kids total, so it's a big time thing. Kayvon's been the region player of the year now 3 years in a row. The last 2 years at Estill and then this year at Hampton.
Hampton County guys team, I mean, man, rolling through that region. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, they did roll through that region. And we'll at the end of the show, we'll talk about the playoff brackets and get into that a little bit. But while you were far flung, did anything catch your eye as far as basketball results that kind of?
Yeah, those Hilton High girls have been playing some great ball recently, and they've really turned the corner in these past few weeks. Lucy Beckham getting the win there, 55-52 in overtime. That's a solid win. They back it up against Coles County. James Allen, of course, that's a really good Trojans team, but that's going to be a tough. I mean, once again, we'll get to the playoff brackets later, but not going to be an easy game against Hartsville going on the road. But still, the strides that Coach Ranazuski has made this year, I'm impressed with. I mean, losing your star with Linda Young and seeing what they produced, without the services of her has been remarkable. And you got to give credit to everybody on that roster for stepping up and. To get in this position to get into the playoffs where you're without your top player. Yeah, that's a testament to everybody.
I've been really impressed with what they've done this season. I thought it was really cool too. Did you see Linda getting the bucket on senior night where they set it up for her to get the layup and then Lucy Beckham took a freebie at the other end? It was wonderful. It was wonderful.
Yeah, that's what you love to see. Really those. Cool. Amazing moments to honor one of the better players that we've seen come through, and just unfortunate to see her lose out in that senior season. But what an awesome culminating moment for Young and something that everybody in that team will remember for a long time. But man, how about Bluffton? Just one loss the entire regular season to Military Magnet, but a perfect run through the region. Outstanding job by Takoya Hayward in that team. I mean, I'm not surprised. But I expected them to drop one or two. You got James Allen, you got Lucy Beckham. That's a May River team that could find ways to slip you up. But Bluffton just showed that they're heads and shoulders above everybody else this year in that region. So going 10-0, that's no easy feat. So congratulations to Lonnie Roberts and that Bluffton squad. And now the real measuring stick is upon us as we get into a big week. But once again, we'll save that for the end of the show. But yeah, man, those girls teams really caught my eye this past week. And then in terms of the guys side, pretty much what I expected when you look at these results. Colleton County over May River, over Hilton Head. A very good season by the Cougars to finish where they did in that region. Now they get home game against AC4, but I'm really happy for those guys to be able to accomplish what they did and compete hard against these best teams in the region and come out with some tough, hard fought wins. So an impressive result there for Colleton County to see where they finished. And then elsewhere, nothing too. Oh, Bridges Prep. I did not think they would beat Whale Branch in that game on the 7th.
Yeah,
that was a shock.
Yeah, I got to agree. That changed my mind about them a little bit. I wasn't sure that they had the.
Before I left, I thought we agreed that Whale Branch was the better team between those two, but the Bucks went into Whale Branch and beat them.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure that they could show the poise to be able to do it there. But that showed me a little something. It did show me a little something about them. I mean, obviously, Marion Wilson, who's another one who hit 1,000 recently, is an outstanding talent, and they've got a ton of talent on that roster. They just, when I had seen them, they had not been able to close out games. They had made too many careless mistakes and things, but not in that game. They pretty much controlled that game too. I mean, they took the lead early and they just kind of, kept Whale Branch at arm's length. They played a smart game and looked good doing it. So here's the 1A bracket. Whale Branch has to go to Lamar first, and Bridges has to host Latta, which is also not very easy. Pretty tough matchups for both those. I mean, that 1A bracket is. You like these brackets I made, by the way? I made these brackets the other night, last night, while I was watching the Chiefs, and I was nervous. Whale Branch girls go to Lakeview in the first round. I don't suspect they'll get out of there. 2A boys. Now this one's fun. First of all, Ridgeland has to go to York Prep, which is crazy in the lower state. York Prep's in Rock Hill. Hampton gets Lake Marion in the first round. Second round game against Mullins is going to be tough, but they did want Mullins rather than Marion. They were, if they had their choice, they would have rather played Mullins than Marion. So then that gets them out to here, where you see Andrew Jackson, or most likely, and that's a big time Donnybrook. And then if they can get through that, but they get all those at home, and then they would go to the Florence Center, presumably,
that's important to be able to get those home
presumably against Oceanside. I don't know if this will be true for all the playoffs, but I have been told that Tuesday's game will be played at Estill. So get to go back to Estill for a playoff game. We got good vibes there.
Will the chicken be there for you?
Will they have the chicken fingers? That is the question. 2A girls, you got Ridgeland Hardyville going to Chesterfield, Timberland going to Hampton County. If Hampton gets out of that, Kingstree is very tough in the second round. That'd be on the road. 3A boys, Battery Creek's got to go to Loris. Buford's got to go to Dillon. Those are both really, really tough matchups. Crestwood in the second round is very tough. Girls, Battery Creek's going to Dillon. That's tough. Buford at Waccamaw. They got a shot there, but Camden awaits in the second round for whoever wins that game. So good luck. 4A boys, May River, tough draw. South Florence, Colleton County, tough draw. AC Flora, but Colleton gets it at home at least.
Yeah, good. That's well earned to be able to open your playoff run at home. They'll always give you a shot. The home crowd is going to boost you in a situation like that, but that's no easy task against Flora, so they're going to have to really be on their game. But,
and then 4A girls.
There we go.
May River gets the at-large and goes to Wilson. Hilton Head at Hartsville, tough one, but they've shown some real scrap. And then Bluffton gets Richland Northeast, and then either North Myrtle Beach or Irmo. Irmo's pretty tough. That could be dangerous. But this is the one to really watch. Ridgeview.
Few.
That would be at Bluffton against Ridgeview, and that would be a really
that would be
interesting matchup.
fantastic.
Yeah,
That would
could
exciting.
be real good.
Yeah.
So there's your brackets.
I think you got to think Bluffton. This is the year. Took away Hayward being a senior with that extra mentality of this is my last run, along with her teammates. I think this. I really think this is going to go differently.
Yeah.
But as you said, from that, Richland Northeast they should take care of. But from that second round on, it is going to be very challenging. Looking at their potential opponents in that Ridgeview game,
Yeah,
they're going to have to be on their best if they want to get through that one. But going back to 1A, Bridges Prep, Whale Branch. Do you think there's an opportunity for either of them to?
yeah. I mean, I do. I think there's an opportunity. Certainly.
Yep.
I don't know that either one of them has shown me that they can win 3 or 4 in a row in the playoffs, but I think they're capable of it. It's just going to be a tough path. I mean, they're going to have to, and Whale Branch has to start on the road. That if they get past Lamar, then they got Burke. Burke's pretty good. Bethune-Bowman is in their half of the bracket. They split with them. So, yeah, certainly if they can get out to there, then, 50-50. Bridges has to go through Carvers Bay in the second round. That's on the road. That's a tough road trip, long way up there. And then they would probably see either Lakeview or Cross. Yeah, I mean, I can see a path where they get to Lower State. I think they both have that opportunity, but it's certainly going to be a arduous journey. If
1A, that is quite the challenge. Going that bracket is just especially when you're going on the road in those gyms. I mean, it can really test you when you're going in that hostile environment in that 1A setting. But it's the physicality ups when you get into the winner go home scenario that this time presents, and that's what makes it so much fun. Is you can find that team that puts it all together and pulls off a few upsets, and all of a sudden they're right there in the precipice of something special. So that's what makes basketball, March Madness, and in this case these weeks in February, so exciting. But in terms of my confidence of these teams make it deep, I do like Hampton County over Bluffton girls, or Hampton County boys and Bluffton girls, just because I just really bought into the culture there at Hampton. I think there's some kind of unfinished business on the horizon after what happened in football, and I'm sure they'd love to see Oceanside again, potentially another lower state championship, and the way they just took care of business and ran through that region. I mean, Xavier Garvin, the X Factor, and it really all starts with the incredible leadership of himself and Kayvon Chisholm. Kayvon, I mean, no matter what sport he's playing, I mean, he's going to bring it to you. He's a built athlete, and he finds a way to will himself and will his team past whoever he's up against most of the time. So I just think they're really gelling. They're playing, strong, confident basketball, very athletic and hard to match up against. And that's a team, if they can really find a way to continue the hot streak and play, physical and toughness that we've seen from them, and if they're able to consistently hit shots and play that lockdown need that we've seen, this Hampton County team has all the pieces that you need to go deep. And like I said, it all comes back to the culture and the fans, the support, and how these players are dialed in this time of year. And I just like what's going on over there, and it's hard to bet against them. And I just think that that second opportunity after it just all fell apart, unfortunately, in football season, when it looked like they were just a few plays away of winning the whole thing. presents new opportunity for, Kayvon and Xavier and, some others who weren't a part of football, but certainly were, rooting those guys on, and
Yeah.
now they get an opportunity to win with them. So it's a really special environment that's been built over there in this first year for the Hampton County Hurricanes. And, I just think that there's another special run on the horizon. I'm not sure it's going to go all the way to that first weekend of March, but the potential is there. And I'm most confident in them over Bluffton just because I haven't seen it from them yet in the playoffs from Hayward in that group. And not saying they can't do it, but, can they find a way to overcome that hurdle?
Right.
I think the potential is there, and they've turned the corner this year. And I think it all comes back to that Christmas period where they won those two tournaments. They found ways to win against good teams. That's why I think this Bluffton squad is just built a little different this year. But, I mean, we've seen what's happened in the past. Can this team write a different script this year?
Right. Can they get over the ghosts of the past, and do they have that dog in them, as one time would say? We know those Hampton County boys have the dog in them. So, which, by the way, you weren't around last week, but it was super cool to go out to Hampton on signing day and document that, just historical significance of it, and
That means a lot.
just the personal meaning, for us having gotten to know those guys so well this year in particular, and just the reception that we got and continue to get whenever we go out there. Not just from the Hampton County folks either, but also Patrick Henry. They very, very, blue collar, just appreciative, grateful, good folks out there. I've really enjoyed it. But here's a little more news. Kamira is trying to get on, by the way. But here's some more news. Hilton Head Prep making the football hire, and Stone McDonald helped make this hire because the guy they hired recruited Stone to Lafayette a few years back. So they've hired Doug McFadden. We've already got him booked on Thursday's show on the Lowdown. Incredible record. He was most recently the pass game coordinator and secondary coach at Colgate. He's been there since 22. But before that, he was at Lafayette from 2009 to 22. He recruited Stone. So they had Stone's quote in here, which I thought was cool. Coach McFadden changed my life when he recruited me from Hilton Head Prep back in 2019. I'm excited for everyone at Prep who will benefit from his coaching, wisdom, and mentorship. He's exactly the type of coach Prep needs on the field and in life. This is a big win for Prep.
This is
I think it's huge.
Huge hire.
Big time.
For a team that really needed one, and a program that was trending in the direction that they did not want to go. And all credit to what Dustin Etheridge was doing over there, and I really enjoyed, talking with him and seeing, his philosophies, and, just sometimes it just doesn't go the way you intended for it to go. But I think what the Dolphins have here with McFadden and the potential and just the resume that he brings, working over at Colgate and then over at Lafayette, and it's just really cool to see, a guy like Stone McDonald, who I got to cover many years back here with Hilton Head Prep, and one of the best quarterbacks I've seen at the Skeeza level over here, and just so cool for him to be a part of this and to have someone who has the background to succeed and thrive, and just that overwhelming expertise and experience to really step into this role and, develop a program that, really needs that boost. So this is an absolutely home run hire. And I think the Dolphins, made the right choice with, a guy that really checks all the boxes of who you want and really matches the prestige of what we're seeing with basketball. And some of those hires that we've been, and players and coaches like Jerry Faulkner, someone who is a legend, came down from Charlotte Latin. This seems like a guy who's fit a similar pedigree, who has, had a tremendous career at the college level, and has 15 plus years of experience, and someone who's going to really do a good job of fitting the mold of exactly what Hilton Head Prep wants. So I think it's an absolutely slam dunk home run hire. And I'm
Agreed.
excited to meet with him with you on Thursday and hear more about his philosophy and what he thinks about this new role, because I think this is an absolutely perfect direction for this football program, and it's going to do some tremendous things for these young men over here. So you hope that really provides a big spark in a program that we've seen dwindle in terms of size, just roster size in the past. So this is
Yeah.
a step in the right direction for the Dolphins team, and just really pumped for him to come on and talk about with us.
Yeah, and I think that the dark times are almost over for Hilton Head Prep football. Like it was rough. Like it was really rough, and Etheridge didn't. He just didn't have a lot of guys, a lot of players.
Yeah.
Like you can only do so much.
Right.
But I do think that there's with what's going on with Low Country Lightning, on the island, and like there's just, and then the Island Football Academy. There's a lot more going on with youth football right now, that feels like it's going to kind of replenish the coffers pretty soon, with middle school age kids and stuff coming in. And then I think this is a really interesting hire, because it echoes what they did with basketball, right? They brought in a guy with college experience, college head coach, and they're on track to possibly win a second straight state title. And when you bring in those guys with that college level experience, you're also adding just an element that is often lacking of that college prep from the athletic side of things.
Yep.
So, even if you're getting college prep on the academic side, you may still be kind of out of the loop as far as what all needs to be happening to get recruited and things like that. But these guys know the process inside and out. They've been on the other side of it, and so I think you're really adding to the pitch of what you're offering to a kid that is, maybe a three-sport athlete at somewhere that they're not sure for sure which one they want to play in college yet, or whatever. Like you've now got something that you can really offer to a big time across the board athlete and start building more of a school athletic culture that they had gotten away from when they kind of leaned into the academy structure. It kind of bankrupted the football program because they had all these specialized one sport athletes, and they've still got that, but now they're starting to layer back in a little bit more of the traditional athletics department at that size school that's powered by three sport athletes that you
Right.
have to have. Because what they've seen is they have the student population to be 3A, and I think they're moving to 4A. But they don't have the numbers across the board, in some of those sports, just because they have so many specialized kids. So I think this helps push back in the other direction, and I think there's an opportunity there, especially with Hilton Head Christian Academy off island now. I mean, it's
Yeah.
really the only game in town for private school football on the island, and I think there's an opportunity there with the right hire, and it would appear they've made a very good one.
Yeah, and that's something that can attract a lot of kids who are on the fence of what school they want to attend, and the possibility that this brings to be that bona fide three-sport athlete at a school where you can combine that with tremendous rigor in academics that's there, and
Mhm.
develop that entire young man, young woman that you want to see, and in this case, that's the experience that he's gonna bring here with not just at the college level, but has also had various roles in the NFL. He's worked with Miami Dolphins, Cleveland Browns, from what I'm seeing here. So he was the recipient of the Bill Walsh Minority Internship.
Yeah,
So
twice.
that's some tremendous honors, and someone who has the right coaching mentality and that right mindset, and just the ability to combine his skills and build a program, and just be a really well-natured person to lead a program like that, especially a program that has been going in the wrong direction, like we're seeing. So I think this is going to provide a tremendous, spark to the turnout that we're going to see, and just the enrollment of that program in general. I think is with a a big time hire like that, that's what we could see as a result. And I think we're moving, back to the Hilton Head Prep that we have seen in the years past, which is, put out a very strong football team, and, to translate well with the basketball program, like you said, with the head coach that they brought in, with Coach Barron, and now looking like on the verge of potentially a second straight basketball boys championship. And it's really building a culture that can really meld together amongst these different sports, and have these kids develop that total package. So I think it's a tremendous step forward for not just that football program, but the athletics program in general there at Hilton Head Prep. And how cool is it once again to see Stone, who was such a great role model, a great leader for that program during this time, and from the great Dave Adams, who hung up his cleats a couple years ago. I'm sure he's thrilled with the direction and the potential that this program could bring. And he was a big part of a reason why we're seeing these steps being taken, and to see Stone be a part of this it's just really cool, and really hits home to me to see a former student be a part of this. And just that's what we want to see. I mean, these kids, and they put in the work, and they earn their own opportunities, and then to see it pay back on his own alma mater is really special.
Yeah, it is. Well, let's shout out a few more sponsors. Yeah, it was just fun to say Stone's name again. That was a fun kid to cover, man. Really enjoyed him, and enjoyed getting to know his family as well. Varsity sponsors of LowcoSports: DDS Web Design, building, hosting, and maintaining websites for businesses and nonprofits that get results. Call on DDS if you have a website that's not getting found, so you can get found online. Think more and do more and think bigger. That's what I was trying to say. DDSHHI.com. Parker Law Group serves legal needs across Colleton, Hampton, and Jasper counties. They've been doing that for years, and they jumped on board to help us continue to expand our coverage in those counties, so we can shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes around the Lowco. Reverence Wrestling Club is the official wrestling sponsor of LowcoSports and the presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind, coming on Sunday night. Going to talk some more wrestling with everybody. Had Coach Lon's on tonight talking JP2 and Skiza. That was fun. And Dr. Ambrose Cole, my favorite chiropractor. He is at Rooted Living Wellness, and if you go see him, he'll get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. And now we are joined by one of our many. We talk about all these kids we've enjoyed covering all these years and seeing it come full circle. How about this one? Kamira Freeman, 1,000-point scorer. What's up, Kamira? How you doing?
Good.
It feels like just yesterday you were getting started over there at BA, and now you're wrapping it up. This was your swan song at home, right? You were at home tonight?
Yes, sir. We're at home tonight.
Put up 32 against Thomas Hayward. That's about 4 or 5 30-point games this year.
Yeah.
And hit 1,000. So tell us about the experience.
It's just a lot. It's just a lot right now. I'm very excited. It was a lot of hard work. I really worked hard towards it. I'm just feeling a lot of emotion.
Understandable, definitely. Does it look like you guys are going to make the playoffs, or do you know yet?
We have a young team right now. We definitely can make a run in the playoffs, but we just got to take it game by game.
Yeah. Well, Kamira, Wesker, Kamira, congratulations on reaching this milestone, 1,000 points. Just reflect on what that number means to you as a high school basketball athlete to after years of time in the gyms and practices, to reach this milestone. Just describe what went through your head when you got there.
It means a lot. I was locked in from tip off. right out the gate, I threw punches at Thomas Hayward right out the gate. I was just locked in, trying to focus on getting 1,000. I had to come from 21 to get there, so I had a long way to go to get there, and it was just a lot of sweat, a lot of work, a lot of time in the gym, and it all paid off in that moment.
That's awesome, man. And you also broke the school record
Yeah.
for points in a game this year. What'd you have, 36 earlier this year?
36, yeah, 36.
Well, you were just throwing it in the ocean or what? Like, were you just feeling it that night?
I think I was just feeling it that night.
Well, you broke the record from one of your former teammates, Michaela Washington. So,
Yeah.
Just tell me about the experience of playing with her and what it means to, best her mark and break that record that she had.
Michaela, she's a phenomenal basketball player. Went on to play in college. She's doing her thing at Limestone. It meant a lot to come behind her and break her record because I always looked up to her and I always saw her as a leader. So just to be able to match something that she did meant a lot to me. And the people that are coming behind me, the younger girls on my team, they look up to me. So just to have like a goal set for them to do in the future really meant a lot to me to be able to break a school record.
Yeah, she and Talia Hayward, of course, both went on to play at the next level after graduating from BA, and kind of left you to be the elder statesman, the leader this year. You had some other seniors around you with Claire Tumlin and who am I blanking on? There's another one, Olivia Dinkins. But you kind of had to be the leader this year. Was that a new thing for you? And how did you feel like you? Going into the season, did you feel good about it or what?
Not really. I've always been a leader on the team. I've always been the captain of the basketball team. So it wasn't really a new role I had to fill. The only thing that was new to me was scoring more and being the main person, the go-to person. So I had to get used to that. But I can say I adjusted really quick to be
you've certainly filled that role with the scoring that you've continued to deliver.
To fill.
Yes. You weren't shy about it. Shy about it.
Came off the bat.
But yeah, I mean, we're getting to the end of the season and into the playoffs. So, just tell me about the direction this team is heading and what you guys have to do to, clear more hurdles and make that deep run in the 2A bracket.
I would say anybody, if you saw how we played tonight, you could definitely say we can go all the way. We played as a team tonight, and it was pretty scary how we played tonight. So I think we just need to work better on our defense and come together as a team, and we can really make a long run in this bracket.
Yeah, you put up 32, but it wasn't just you. Olivia and Claire both had big games as well, and they've been playing well lately. They've been picking it up. You had 32, Olivia has 15, Claire had 14. You won by 30, so good stuff going into the playoffs. And do you have your plans for next year, or what's on the radar for Kamira next year?
I'm gonna attend Wofford University, and I'm gonna major in English.
All right, outstanding. No basketball for you. Maybe a little intramural, or you'll be an intramural superstar though.
Maybe play some pickup.
Yes. Yeah, you better get out there at some point because
I got there.
Keep those skills that you learned and impress some folks, and maybe bring another potentially a title in the intramural ranks.
Intramural championship.
Yeah, but you got the job's not done for you at the high school level. So just tell me about how you're feeling. Finishing up these last few games. The emotion has got to be a big part of these last few contests in your high school career.
The emotions are definitely starting to set in, especially tonight. They really set in, being that it was my last game playing NBA. Going forward in the playoffs, I just got to give it my all because I don't want this roller coaster to be over just yet. So the emotions are definitely really high, and just giving it all to my team and making it far in the playoffs again. Last year we went to state. Hopefully we can make another state run this year. I'm just looking forward.
You guys have definitely had good luck in the postseason the last few years.
We always
trips to state. Yeah, man, always turn it on. So, well, hey, Kamira, it's been an absolute pleasure covering your career, and congratulations again on 1,000 points and all the other success you've had.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Kamara Freeman, Buford Academy. What a sweetheart. She's
Yeah,
awesome,
she's
man. She's been fun to
love to
cover.
see kids like her and to be able to talk to, especially these seniors and get into that end when it's really it's like I said, it starts to really sink in that your career is almost over, and it just ups the intensity that much more for her and for those teammates to play and win for her as well. So like she said, that's a team that's really turned it on in the playoffs. And I think a lot of that is you're going up against some top teams and truly just, playing those 3A teams like JP2, Hilton,
Yeah.
and Christian Academy. You get tested, especially when you play these other Lowco teams, and that really prepares you for what you're going to see in the 2A playoffs. So, for a team like this who has been there before, you really can't count them out.
Yeah, and 2A's always a little weaker than 1A the last couple of years, it feels like. Like it's kind of the soft spot. It's kind of weird for girls in particular. So like BA, I was a little surprised that they made the finals last year, but they who knows, man? You never know. Colleton's in there, right? So
Yep.
that's a fairly even matchup, and I think Colleton's going to be one of the better teams. So I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see.
By the way,
It's bracket season.
Yes, it is a bracket season. It's March, comes early. It's a February frenzy, as we've called it in the
February
past.
frenzy is upon us. Yes.
But speaking of brackets, we expect skis to come out probably in the next few days, I suppose, as we get ready for that side of things.
You would think so.
Yeah.
You would think so. We'll see. Haven't seen them yet, but I would expect that we'll see them any day now. But Sand Sharks softball. How about them?
Yeah.
Sierra Kenloff, 5-inning no-hitter.
No.
They run ruled Savannah State twice, so they're 7-1, and I think they have like 5 or 6 run rule victories. Like just dominating people, averaging 10 runs a game.
This is night and day from what we've seen in the past. Cody Yeski's squad has turned it on this year, and I think it harkens back to the old days from Sand Shark Yore, from a lot of those teams that were putting up big numbers at the softball field, and this team's really found that the bats have been red hot. I cannot wait to get out there at Shark Park and see this team. Unfortunately, going to be on the road a lot. I think they're not going to only get until March, so
yeah,
going to have to wait a bit, but it will be well worth the wait. But man, this team as a whole, they're batting .425 as a team, 1.18 OPS. They've already hit 6 home runs as a team, including 3 from Mariah Stevens.
Mariah Stevens has 3 of them, yeah.
But my God, and they've got some speed. Cool. I mean, Darren Miller can steal bases. Devin Dweller is such a consistent hitter, batting a cool 600. Jaden Goodwin, 727.
How about Jaden Goodwin?
Yeah.
727. Absurd. What is she, like 16 for 22 or something?
16
like
for
that?
22.
16 for 21.
Yeah.
It's crazy. No, she's and that alone, you take that and you put it at the top of the order in softball. I mean, that's like an automatic run in the first inning every game. Almost, if she's getting on at like an 800 clip and she runs well, like she's almost guaranteed to score. So it's just crazy.
And then of course,
they're doing offensively.
Getting the job done.
Yeah.
And she was brought in, continued to be the ace of the staff, and she has been outstanding, and just coming off the no. So someone who we got to see a lot last year, and so consistent, and so proficient from her spot in the circle, and that's someone that they're gonna really rely upon this year. But we've seen also some good things from Cassie Brundage, coming in and providing some solid work out there. Pretty solid numbers, and you always want someone in situations to take the load off Kinlaw, but it really looks like Sierra is going to be that dominant workhorse that Yeski is going to rely upon, and 21 strikeouts to 5 walks, and coming off that no hitters. So I think you got to be really excited if you're a Sand Shark softball fan for what we've seen in these first 8 games. So they'll be tested on the road. They're gonna go through some tough ones, and we'll see how they fare through this stretch. They go up against West Liberty coming up on Saturday, Mount Olive, and then they go to North Georgia, which will be a big test starting Peach Belt play. And then they're back home against Landers. So, we'll see what happens once you get into conference play. But from the trends that we're seeing so far, this could be as we've seen from that basketball team and the scoring that they're putting up. Softball staying to a whole nother level.
Yeah, no doubt. Speaking of basketball, the St. Chucks are in the Cove. Bracken asked that we share whatever this is. The red versus pink teddy bear toss is happening. We got a Valentine's Day tussle in the Cove with USCB and Georgia College. And I would guess that this is one of those deals where they, after the first basket, everybody throws their teddy bear on the court and then they collect them up and give them to the children or whatever. But yeah, I was sent this with no context. So the red versus pink teddy bear toss is happening at the game on Wednesday. But now St. Chucks could use a dub Wednesday night, both teams. But the guys beat Georgia College on the road, so you would think they'd be able to take care of them at home. You hope so. Yeah. The women had to forfeit Saturday. I had to cancel the game. They're so down injury wise that it was not safe.
Tough first year, but
Shania Rose, I believe, was
out of your control. And the injury.
Yeah, they had players awaiting MRIs. Like Shania Rose got concussed, I think, when she got clobbered across the head against whoever we played last, that orange team, I think. Clayton State, that's who it was. So it's been a rough go for them, but you can see that the future is going to be bright there. But guys need a dub. It's been a grind lately, man. They need a dub. They need to get it going the right direction again, get their mojo back, because they got the juice that if they're the kind of team that if they got hot, they could win 4 in a row in the Peach Belt tournament.
Absolutely.
It's 3 in a row. You only got to win 3.
And right now
you only got to win 3.
They're battling with Georgia College and Clayton State for that last spot. They're all 3-9. The top 8 get in. So,
and if you end up in the 7 or 8 and you pull off the one upset, then your games get easier as you go.
Right, because you assume the path of that top seed.
Theoretically, they get easier. You've already beaten the best team in the bracket. It's like it's like playing it backwards. So, like in an 18 bracket, man, anything can happen.
Right,
we've seen
you
that.
Got to be in a one or another.
Yeah, it's nuts. So, Lori Anderson asking any recap on HHCA
fan these days, and follow these conference tournaments. You really never know. We've seen so many upsets take place from Division I down the line. So you just never know what can happen when you get to March. Yeah. That's the fun of it.
Yeah. Lori asking any recap on HHCA. Didn't get too much into them tonight. Covered it Friday night on Loco Hoops Report. We'll definitely be talking about them more as soon as the brackets come out. But nice wins for HHCA against JP2 the other night. Girls, took care of business against a really solid JP2 squad. They just continued to, just kind of beat them and look good doing it. Maya Hutchinson was incredible. And then, she was unreal the other night.
Yeah, they're the best I've seen her.
They're hitting their stride. They're ready. They're ready for to go get another one. They're ring chasing, as they say.
Yes.
But HHCA boys dug deep. I like the way they're playing right now. They're playing a little more unselfish, a little more, balanced. Ethan Foster was huge the other night. He made some big shots in the second half. Isaiah's he's not over 1,000 yet. Man, that's hard to believe. Isaiah was terrific the other night. Had 16, I want to say. Really kept him in it in the first half, and then had some big buckets late. Don't sleep on that team now. Do not sleep on that team.
And there's been several ups and downs for this Eagle squad with a lot of adversity, turmoil.
Mostly a lot of downs. I mean, it's
I'll
been
tell you
rough.
what, though.
It's been a roller coaster, but they're coming together, and they brought up some kids. Finn Usry came up from the JV. Epstein has stepped up and played really well. Foster is growing up fast. He's got a nice jump shot, and he's long. Like you can see, you can definitely see them.
There's a path there, and
I guarantee you this: Hilton Head Prep does not want to see them.
No, they don't. They do not.
They don't want none. That they might beat them, but they would not. They don't want that. They would not relish it because that's a scary team. So
right. Especially if they're knocking
now
down,
we did
because
now we talked about HHCA.
We've seen some stretches where they are lights out, and if they can get that shooting going, oh boy. Yeah,
well, people started people started keying on Harry and trying to take him away and make other people beat him, and now people are starting to.
Yeah.
And Eli threw one down with authority at the end of the game too, but Cole and I had both put away our cameras. It was right at the last second, and he just it was a good one though. But let's wrap this thing up. The Lowco Booster Club, Court Lifestyle Pros, Daniel and Debbie Court are Lowco natives trying to bring you home to Hilton Head Island. They're with Charter One Realty. Let them bring you home. Revive Rehab, Women's Health, and pelvic floor physical therapy. Dr. Allie and Dr. Jen will help you get feeling right if you are having any problems in the pelvic region. Eagle Creations, they have promotional items and custom apparel as well as custom gift baskets over on Argent Boulevard. Go see Mandy and Bill. Jay's Barbershop is the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. Always a great place for spicy conversation over at Jay's place. Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. Chris Odom will get your floors so clean your feet will thank you. I saw Chris Odom checked in with us earlier, gave us that like. We appreciate you, buddy. Prime IV Hydration and Wellness, now open in Belfair Town Village. Go see Max and the team and get hydrated, get juiced up. And Wes, before we go, let's get into our teams of the week, and then we'll take a look ahead at what we got coming this week.
Yeah, I'm going to go for my boys' team of the week, Hampton County Hurricanes, running through that region in 2A and are looking primed right now. And I like I said, we talked about the road they have going forward. Certainly going to be tested, but I mean, this team, the athleticism that we've witnessed, and that drive, that hunger, I think everything is there for another storybook Hampton County Hurricanes run, and one that could go even further. And just it's been so much fun to watch Kayvon Chisholm lead the way for this group, and going to that North-South game, the leadership and talent that we've seen. And just the way he impacts the box score in so many different ways, and everything that he presents to this team. And then, I mean, you got Devon Allen providing some good secondary scoring alongside Josh Goodman, Xavier Garvin, that X factor. I just really like how it's coming together for Hampton County. They took their lumps at that Bluffton tournament, and after that, I don't think they've lost a game since then.
I don't think so. I think those were their last losses. They've been on fire, man.
They're lit on fire right now, so see if they keep it going into the playoffs. And then on the girls' side, I'm always so biased towards Hilton Head, but Seahawks, they've earned it with a nice win over Beckham. They took care of May River. They beat Colleton. Never an easy Colleton team to take out, but Hilton High, I mean, that's an accomplishment that I did not think they would be able to pull off after Young went down. And just so much credit to Russell Ranazuski, Leah Jackson. She's been the difference maker. She has been sensational. The way she plays defense, rebounds, and can score the basketball as well. And Deja Godson, what a difference that she has been this year, and the strides that we've seen at point guard, and the way she's able to make the right passes, find the right decisions on the offensive side, play tough defense, and hit some shots. They found, they lost some, they certainly, like Gianna Timko was someone who provided a nice spark in the past. They really found out with Amaya Roten. You got some sparks from players like Lawton Kroos, who's been coming in and making impacts. So I like how it's all gelled together. You got several different players you can rely on to get buckets, and they just have that good collective team defense effort that we've seen. So Hilton and High, I mean, you can't count them out, but going to be a challenging first round test at Hartsfield. But just to get to this far and put up the record that they did in a tough region, in those circumstances, got to give them a lot of credit. So kudos to Coach R and the Seahawks.
Yeah, good calls there. I will go. Boys. Oh man, tough one. But I'll go with. I thought I had figured it out. I'll go with Bridges. I'll go with the Bridges boys.
Yep.
I'll go with the Bridges boys. That win at Whale Branch was really solid. Amarion had a monster game in that. I just looked it up. It was like 17-15. Now Bradford Thompson was out. He was in an auto accident earlier in the day. He's okay, but he was there for senior night. He was able to walk out and everything. Just wasn't cleared to play. So I think he probably could have put a body on Mari a little bit, maybe got him in foul trouble, but they committed to getting it to him and letting him do his work. They played a really tough defensive game. I think they're putting it together at the right time to maybe be able to make a run. Tayshawn Hayward, he's a veteran guard. They got long guys on the wings.
Kind of like that volleyball.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, this one has maybe more known quantities on it even, but the volleyball team had what they had was that a lot of them have played together a lot, club ball and stuff, and I think that's starting to build that culture is starting to build at Bridges too. A lot of these guys have been there for a number of years now and went to school there young in their career, and there's some school pride there right now that's pretty powerful. They got a really nice home court advantage too. It's a bandbox.
Oh, it's awesome.
And
it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's going to be hype when they play Lada over there on Wednesday night.
Yep. Actually, I won't be because USCB basketball's home.
USCB, yeah, I know. That's what it's a bummer. I want to be there on Wednesday. So yeah, USCB's throwing a kink in us in the playoffs here, but no, that's going to be a Donnybrook, I predict. That's going to be a good one. Hopefully our boy Javon will be in there, but it's tough for him to get in there at Bridges. Tough spot. But I'll go Bridges boys. On the girls' side, I think I'm going to have to give it up. Let me just double check something real quick, but I think it's where I'm going. I got to give it to the Patrick Henry girls. The Patrick Henry girls have won 6 in a row. Most recently, they beat Coach Belinda in the revenge game, 55-45, and they're claiming a region title, a 2A region title, because there's 1A teams in it though, and Cross beat them. So 2 region champs, yay! But nonetheless, they're closing it out in style. In the regular season, and they were supposed to play tonight against John Paul, but it got canceled on account of all the rain messed up the plumbing at Patrick Henry, and it's flooding the gym. So, but Lillian Lucas has been just tremendous lately. During the 6-game winning streak, she's scored 30, 28, 17, 21, 31, and 31. So she's been absolutely on fire and carrying them, lately. So I know they're excited. They think they got a shot in 2A as well. They definitely think their guys do too. So Skeeza State tournament's going to be wild. It's going to be wide open. Wild West games being played middle of the afternoon in auxiliary gyms.
I'm gonna be fun, good times over there at the Sumter Center, and there's some other sites as well where they play them.
Oh yeah, there'll be Wilson Hall and who knows, Portergout and Pinewood and everywhere else. But as soon as we get brackets, I'll make them into cool brackets like I did with the other ones, and we'll put them out there. But I think that does it for tonight.
This is one of my favorite times of the year. Yeah, basketball
is.
class lead into the start of baseball at USCB, softball USCB.
I agree.
Spring sports. It is a really fun time of year.
I agree. Last week is a tough week, but this week's a good week. I like the last week of the regular season can be a bit of a grind, but rolling into the playoffs gives you some new energy, and now it starts to kind of thin out, and we get to breathe for like 2 days before spring sports start in earnest, because it's coming fast, brother, and it is a deluge, but it's gonna be something else real soon. But looking ahead, tomorrow night, we'll do Lowco Hoops Report and round up all these playoff results. We've got on the girls' side, Richland Northeast at Bluffton, Hilton Head at Hartsville, May River at Wilson, all in 4A, and 1A Whale Branch at Lakeview. 3A boys, Buford at Dillon, Battery Creek at Loris. 2A boys, Lake Marion at Hampton, Ridgeland Hardyville at York Prep. So that's what's on tap tomorrow night. Wednesday. Yeah, we still got some Skeezer regular season games. Sorry, we don't care about those anymore. So it's playoffs now. Make your brackets already.
Yes.
We got USCB at home in the Cove on Wednesday. Don't forget the pink versus red teddy bear drop or whatever, teddy bear throw. 5:30 and 7:30 in the Cove. High school basketball playoffs on Wednesday. 3A girls, Buford at Waccamaw, Battery Creek at Dillon. 2A girls, Timberland at Hampton County, Ridgeland Hardyville at Chesterfield. And then in 4A boys, AC Flora at Colleton, May River at South Florence. 1A boys, Latta at Bridges Prep, Whale Branch at Lamar. And I've got a high school boys soccer scrimmage on the schedule as well Wednesday. But scrimmages, we will be dealing with you when you get to the real games. We got playoffs to cover, but man, it's coming fast.
Yeah, I'll be at the Den tomorrow. Richland Northeast against Bluffton. Should be a hype atmosphere. Hopefully we get a good student turnout. And
I'll be booking it back out to Estill. Check out those Hurricanes. So should be good times, man. Looking forward to it. But that's going to do it for tonight. Wes and I will be back tomorrow night, 10 p.m. for the Lowco Hoops Report, so be sure to join us then. Thanks so much to Greg Lawns, JP2 Wrestling, for jumping on with us, as well as to Kamira Freeman from Buford Academy. Congrats on a 1K, kid. Another 1K scorer, Tony O'Banner. Trying to get him booked soon, too. Only a sophomore, and that man's got 1,000. So go figure. But, that one happened Friday night against Cross. So good stuff there. Put that on Lowco Lights this morning. But, again, thanks to Greg Lawns and Kamira Freeman. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Thanks to you for showing up to Listener Watch. For Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. Till next time, go Lowco.
The Loco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Lowco.